So in your opinion, should somebody who wants to do an intercooler on an FC single turbo get the eBay kit that we bought?
No.
No. I agree. Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be working on the intercooler piping. Now, we got a eBay kit and I was looking for one that didn't have a hole in the piping for the blow-off valve and also was not completely universal, was specific to the FC RX7 because I needed a fitting to come out of the throttle body. And so we got that and a pretty large intercooler core, but most of the kit, and I'll show you right now, doesn't make much sense otherwise. So this guy right here is the piece that I needed to get. It has a hole down here that can be tapped for the intake air temperature sensor, and then usually the T2s have a top mounted intercooler sits up here, so the stock one just goes straight up, and this one needs to come out so we can bring it down and around. The intercooler we've actually got mounted nice up and tight in here. We actually had to cut and grind a lot of the front bumper support and peel back some pinch welds and stuff like that, but it's tucked up nicely. And now we're on to the piping. This is the stuff they gave us, and it's all kind of bent at random angles, and maybe if we had all the stock stuff in here, like the power steering and the AC condenser, air boxes and things like that, it would make more sense. We can't make sense of it. Although we do know we're going to need to cut a hole down here, and we're going to need to make this hole larger. So let me show you our solution. It's right here. This is a universal 2.5 inch inner diameter intercooler piping kit. So what we're going to do is use these pieces, lay them out in there, and figure out how to make our own custom intercooler piping. So when we get all these pipes cut up and fit in, how are we going to make sure they fit together there, Jeff?
Well, we're going to test everything out probably just by using couplers at first and figure out where weak points are that need to be welded together. And if we get welded together, then on Monday I'm going to take them to school and weld them.
Perfect, yeah. So thank God Jeff's practicing, is it TIG welding?
Yeah, it's going to be aluminum TIG welding.
Aluminum TIG welding, so we can make these intercooler pipes, or he can make these intercooler pipes. But either way, we can get them on here. So now we just get to figure out what we want to go where.
Yep.
So we've got to use this coupler, reducing coupler, to the turbo compressor for this side. And then we need to use this smallest piece of piping diameter they gave us, but it goes into nowhere. And we don't want to cut a hole in the front face there because we're going to run the pop-up headlight, so we got to get it turned down.
Yeah.
And it also has this recirculation point. So we need to custom work on this one and see if we can get that bad boy to fit. So we're looking at something like this to combine these two.
So I want to cut it like at a little bit past the bend here, so we have enough to still form a bead. And same thing on this side right here. You know, cut it here somewhere, and then also have a little scrap metal here, so we can, when we cut off this recirculation here, we'll have a little plate that we can TIG weld in place to block that off. But also angles it perfectly down into an area where there's already an existing hole, which we can just carve out a little bit more, and then run the intercooler piping down through here and then right into the intercooler.
Yeah, and then we're there. Okay, cool. Okay, so what we're thinking is use this U-turn piece with this coupler, come off here at a nice steep angle, right into the one which is the same type we used over here.
Yeah, just a 45. And then go
into there.
Right there, and then like that right there, honestly, already comes up at a angle.
Mm-hmm.
So we can just use. We'll see how close we get, but I mean, maybe just normal coupler right there would just be able to connect it. If not, then we can always trim off the bead right here, and then I can just TIG weld on a little expansion, like a 2 and 2.5 inch thing. We'll measure it, and then.
But I think it's going to reach.
Yeah, me too. So let's just see what we get with.
So we don't really need to touch that one, right?
No, this one is perfect as is.
Cool. So let's go ahead and mark up the U-turn piece. That looks mighty fine.
That's some money right there.
Okay, cool. So now we just need to get a tool to widen those holes first, and then we can get a total count for the number of beads we need to roll, and you can assess anything you need to weld, which you might not need to start with. So now we're ready to start cutting the holes so we can pass the intercooler piping through. So we have this big bad boy right here. We're going to cut down into there with. It's going to be kind of scary cutting through the RX7. So right now we're just moving some of the electronical bits out of the way so we can work, and then we'll get cutting.
What's the number one rule, Billy?
Eye protection.
Eye protection, alright. So he's going to approach it from the bottom right down here where it's easier to get to. And we're going to watch it come through the top right here.
Oh boy, here we go. Okay, so it's been a few days since we cut that hole right behind the headlight. Now, in that time, I have painted the hood and the fenders, so you'll see those back on the car. And we've mocked up some more of the piping, which I'm going to talk you through in just a moment. But importantly, we did bring the hood out here to test fit it, because the way we've done it so far, we need to make sure there's clearance, and there isn't, so there's more work to be done. But let me show you where we're at right now. Right back here is where we drilled that hole. We have passed the tubing up through there, connected it to the turbo, and passed it down through here and connected it to the intercooler. However, this part is too high, so we're going to have to trim that up a little bit. We have our other side of the intercooler going up. We still need to drill and pass it through this side here and make a final connection. Okay, so we just got the hood installed back on the car to check this clearance. So Jeff's gonna stick his phone down in the hood scoop opening.
Oh wow, we like have like a quarter of an inch of room between the hood and the coupler that comes off that bend.
Okay.
So we do have the clearance, but however, just in case the motor torquing and stuff underneath there,
It will.
we should definitely trim like maybe another quarter to a half an inch off the pipe that actually goes into the turbo.
Okay. Okay, so we've modified it more than we think we should, and we don't want to go any further, and it still won't clear the hood. But we're going to use a different approach, and we're going to undo this V-band, and we're going to clock the turbo differently. Just bring it over just a little bit here, so we can get it underneath, and then route it in right here.
Alright, so we just undid this V-band bolt right here. Clocked it maybe about 20 degrees. And now this is going to be a lot straighter of a shot, and shrunk it down, especially down below the strut tower bar right here. Because there wasn't very much more of this metal we could cut off, or else it would just literally start pointing up. So now all we need is just a little straight piece from here to here. And that's what was just cut. Guys, Custom Fab Rule 101. Wear sandals.
Wear sandals and safety glasses.
You got your priorities set.
I don't like my toes. Alright, so that was incredibly successful, clocking it and using the straight piece. Oops, sorry, there's a broom handle in the way. Let me get over here. So that was very successful. Turbo clock just a little bit. We just shut the hood, everything fits, and it's a nice clean install. I mean, we'll eventually like to get our little V-band style connectors on here when we get the cache. So these couplers are a little annoying, but so far so good. Now we're going to go ahead and drill the hole in this side and get this side sorted out.
You ready, Billy?
Yeah.
Fire!
Okay. Get it right where I want her. Got our hole cut here. We're just cutting a piece of piping 90 degrees to go up and under in below the headlight and turn up. This is what Jeff has over here. Alright, so let's go ahead and test fit this thing up in here. Still, do we have, can the coupler go on it anymore, or is it all the way back?
It's about all okay.
Okay, it's all the way in there. God, it's close. Gosh, it's close.
So you just grind a little bit more with it?
Back to the grinder, getting more clearance. Alright, so we've gotten pretty close. We've got the exit side of the intercooler plumbed up behind the headlight. Comes up to this piece here, and then we just have this little gap to bridge. Jeff and I have just been discussing, do we want to use couplers, or does he want to take it and weld it? And we're leaning towards welding, and we might weld this connection over here as well, just to keep it looking cleaner. So we're gonna discuss that a little bit. We'll make a few cuts and make a piece, and then we'll be back with you guys. This episode is spanning over multiple weeks because this has been turned to be quite the bear of a project, but we're almost there now, and then on to bigger and better things. So this is what we got mocked up pre-welding. This is going to be one piece coming up from the intercooler. We got to use a coupler here because these are different sizes, so we have to have a reducer, and we'll roll a bead here, and over here we've got a nice straight shot. So coupler there, and then it'll go all the way down, and a coupler to the intercooler. So Jeff's looking at this, thinking he can weld this up nice and tight.
No problem.
Lay some dimes.
Stack some dimes?
Stack
Want
some
some
dimes.
stacks and dimes?
Cool. So we're gonna pull all this out, get it marked up, and then send it off to Jeff to get it welded and bead. What are you doing down there, Banana? And get it bead rolled as well, and then we'll be able to do final assembly with our couplers. So we'll be back in just a few.
Okay, so far we have that hole plugged, and we just welded this piece right here that comes out, and now we have this big piece to do back here, and then we'll be done with this. Then just take it off to get bead rolled.
All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed that welding footage. Jeff taking care of these pipes here. We got them back home, and we still need to get them bead rolled, but we're going to go ahead and mock them up because we're not going to be able to get that done relatively soon. We want to get this video out for you guys about the intercooler project. It is very, very, very hot, so I've got my nice Pacifico. Jeff's got his
Cherry Coca-Cola.
Cherry Coke, and we're about to go put these on and show you what the final thing looks like. Alright guys, so here it is. You should take a look here. Look at this beautiful work Jeff did. This looks pretty nice. Got it over here as well. I'll go ahead and get a shot here of the front intercooler. So, weeks and weeks of work at least, wouldn't you say, Jeff?
Yeah. A lot of...
Not cumulative, but...
Yeah, cumulatively maybe a weekend, but just sitting and thinking about it, and then actually getting the time to do all this, yeah, it's probably been about a month.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, should somebody who wants to do an intercooler on an FC single turbo get the eBay kit that we bought?
No.
No. I agree. So, at the end of it, we used just the intercooler they gave us.
Yeah, just this, which is great. It's a good intercooler.
Good size at least, and we used this throttle body elbow replacement. Everything else, aside for some couplers that came with it, we had to custom cut, custom fit, custom weld, everything. So really, we're going to leave links in the description below for where we got the piping from. It's on Amazon. It's really affordable, came very quickly, and for where you can get comparable, if not better, intercoolers that might even fit better. But this is the stock piece that is the elbow that goes right here that you want to replace. And for the cost of the kit, I don't think that's worth it just to get that piece. I think you'd rather take this to a shop that can machine it off and possibly weld you on something to the right size piping that you want instead of using that. So that's going to wrap it up for today. We'll be back soon with the fuel system install and the Haltech engine control unit, and hopefully a startup soon. Remember, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, I beat you.
Nice.